33 here at 95.3 WBEV. Let's join Craig Warmbold for community comment.
Well, thank you very much, and good afternoon. Welcome to Community Comment today that is being video streamed at dailydodge.com. Check out the Daily Dodge TV tab, and you'll be able to watch our program, which is kind of an Earth Day-centric program today. Coming up in just a little bit in our second segment, later in the 1 o'clock hour, we're going to be welcoming guests from Downtown Beaver Dam, Inc., who will be in to talk about this weekend's Earth Day, Beaver Dam Earth Day cleanup and ceremonies and tree plantings and all the fun things that are going on associated with that. In this first segment, we want to welcome a regular guest in and around Earth Day, which Earth Day is Saturday, and we don't do community comment on Saturday, so we were able to make arrangements to have the executive director of Marsh Haven Nature Center join us a couple days early. Want to welcome into the conversation our good friend Renee Wallin. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thanks for the invite. I appreciate it.
This has been a standing date on the calendar for at least a decade now.
Could be. I don't know. I lost track.
It could be even more than that. And for those of you regular listeners who know, when Renee comes to the radio station, she tends to bring a fine feathered or furry friend, and we'll be meeting that feathered or furry friend at some point here throughout
Yes,
the...
you let me know when you're ready. So.
Well, I feel like the answer is when the animal is ready, right? I didn't know we had any choice in that.
Well, we'll find out if they're ready when we're ready. So.
Fair enough.
Yes.
So we'll tease that, I
Okay.
think, for maybe for a little bit later here.
Sounds good.
But again, a reminder, if you want to see our feathered or furry friend, check out the video tab at dailydodge.com. If you missed the show today, you could always go back and watch it in podcast form. So we begin with Earth Day, Marsh Haven Nature Center. You guys just opened your doors.
We did. We opened for the 2023 season on Saturday, on the 15th. And it was a beautiful day, unlike the last few. It was still those few warm days we had. So we had a great crowd that came out to see some of our new things in the gift shop and some of our changes in the museum, and a nice group that came for a raptor program too. So it was a great start.
Well, was that, you were telling me, was that the Dodge County Farm Service Agency that came for a program?
The Farm Bureau.
Farm Bureau.
Yes, they had a group called Every Farmer's Dream, and so they had a little road trip that day, and they went to tour some different agriculture areas, and then they came by us to learn how raptors are farmers' friends.
And that was a chat that you had led.
Yes.
Well, do you do this conversation frequently? Is this something newer?
It's something newer, and it's something we kind of tailored to the fact of having farmers and people that work in agriculture in the audience. And so I really wanted to talk about the benefits of our raptors, because they are nature's mousetraps, and they're non-toxic poison control, non-toxic rodent control. So that's something that was really important for me to be able to talk to them about.
And expand on that, if you would, a little bit. Certainly, we don't have time to get into the entire depths of that program, but I mean, that really is quite a symbiotic relationship that takes place there, isn't it?
Absolutely. And as Barbara Harvey used to always say, she says they're out there hunting for us every day, and they don't send us a bill. So that's really important. So yeah, raptors are out there, and their main food source are rodents, rats and mice, things that we don't want eating our grain or in our garage or in our basements and that. So yeah, they're out there hunting, and just some statistics that I would share with them, with the group, was a bird the size of like a red-tailed hawk or a great horned owl. One bird in a year's time will eat about 2,000 mice. So they're eating 2-3 mice a day, and so they're really performing a great service for us. And we often don't realize that or connect that. So if you have livestock, you usually have grain around, and if you have grain around, you have mice and rats, and they're eating that, and they're causing a financial impact for farmers. And so by having and helping our raptors and the population, you're really helping to control that rodent population.
How do we help our raptors?
So just by having habitat for them. They need a place to build nests, lay their eggs, raise their young, and find food to eat. And so really keeping in mind that they need a space also to have a place to live.
And what are the raptors that are most common to our area?
So probably the one that most people recognize would be our red-tailed hawk. You'll often see them on power lines, sitting in trees, sitting on fence posts. Even as you're driving down the highway, they might be sitting on highway signs. And so, of course, they're very large birds, probably one of the largest raptors you'll see in the area. And they have that beautiful red tail where they get the name. And so, again, those guys are great. They about 98% of their diet is rodents, rats and mice.
Wow.
And then, of course, we have our owls, which we don't often see because they're hunting at nighttime. And they're very elusive. They're very good at being invisible and blending in, camouflaging. And so here in the area, we would have great horned owls, barred owls, eastern screech owls, hints of maybe what I have with me. Little tease there. And then we have some falcons, too. And can't forget about those guys because they are great hunters. They're very fast and very agile in the sky. So our smallest falcon in North America is the American kestrel, and we have quite a few of those around. Their numbers are declining, though, so that's a real concern, and they really need habitat because kestrels are cavity nesters. So they need like old dead trees, or they need us to help out by building nest boxes and putting those up out in the country and on people's property to encourage them to stick around.
Is it hard to build a nest box? Do you have programs on how to build nest boxes
Well,
over?
we do provide plans for people that are, so if you can cut some wood and measure twice and cut once.
Cut once, there you go.
And assemble those. We also have some for sale at our gift shop at Marshhaven, but we are happy to hand out plans to anybody or even email them out. So if you are handy in that sense, they are not very difficult. They're not very complex.
So if you go to Marshhaven Nature Center, are you going to likely see a raptor, an owl, a falcon, either that is a guest of yours or perhaps in the wild?
Yep, the easiest ones to see are the ones that are our animal ambassadors, that they are birds that have been injured in some way in the past and they can no longer survive in the wild. So they are permanent placements at the Nature Center. And so we do have a couple owls that do live in the center during our open season, so people can easily see them. We have American crow that also hangs out there, and can be quite sassy sometimes, so very vocal. Lets you know she's there. And then, of course, when you go out, there's always the chance of seeing something, especially more towards midsummer when some of our wild red tails have fledged the nest, and they're often flying around and still calling for food from their parents. And you can often see them up in the sky there where they belong.
Again, Marshhaven Nature Center opened on Saturday, picking the right day to open. The location, where do we find Marshhaven Nature Center?
So Marshhaven is located just outside of Waupun on Highway 49. And so we're about 2-3 miles outside of Waupun if you're headed towards Brownsville. And we're on the north side of the road. And across from us, everything south and east of us at Marshhaven is the National Wildlife Refuge. So it's just a great place to explore, whether you stop by us or go across the road and check that out. But you can spend lots of time exploring nature there.
When are we going to find the Marshhaven Nature Center open?
So we are open Thursdays and Fridays, noon to 4, and then Saturdays and Sundays, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Our trails are open daily, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., but the building itself is just that Thursday through Sunday.
Okay, all right. So I can go on a trail on a Monday or a Tuesday?
Yes,
All right.
you can.
How do I get, is it, you have to pay to get into the Marshhaven Nature
For
Center?
the
though.
museum, yes.
Oh,
There is
okay.
a fee to get into the museum end of things, but there is no charge to come into the visitor center, the gift shop area. We're always happy to hand out maps or give the latest and greatest information on where to find things, or just the Horican Marsh itself. We get a lot of visitors from Milwaukee, Chicago that come up. And they walk in and they say, we're here to see the Horican Marsh. And since the Horican Marsh is 33,000 acres, there's a lot to see. So they're often very confused. Where do I go? Where do I start? So we try to help them out and give them some ideas of where to hike or to go biking or to look for birds or wildlife.
What are some of the land features that folks will see out there?
So we have a really neat mixed habitat at Marsh Haven. So there's 46 acres there. We are a nonprofit nature center, so we are not part of the state or the federal government. So on our 46 acres, we have about 6 acres of woodland, so you can walk through the woods. We have a tower in the woods there, a 30-foot observation tower. We have about 25 acres of prairie and lots of trails that wind through the prairie area, especially like July, August is beautiful to see all the prairie plants blooming. And then the rest of the land would be our wetland. So we have a trail that is comprised of a few boardwalk that you can cross the wetland and then go around our little Lake Lepresto. We have a little 10-acre impoundment there. Lots of cattails, we get some geese in there, some cranes sometimes. So pretty much you can see a lot of mixed habitat.
As a nonprofit, it's never easy for nonprofits. It's always a challenge for everyone. Of course, Marsh Haven Nature Center, one of the organizations that pairs with us for the Good Karma Brands John Moser Children's Radiothon each year. What other revenue sources does Marsh Haven have to be able to provide for the community? What it is you guys do?
Yeah, so mainly our funding comes from memberships. So even though there is a fee for the museum, if you are a member, members are always free to go through the museum, to go to our special events. So we have about 300 members that we've had some since the very beginning in 1984, which is pretty cool, and that they've stuck with us so long. So memberships are a big part, and then our programs, we do have a fee for those, you know, if something group comes in for a field trip or for a special program. And then we do some grant funding, which, again, the Radiothon is a part of that, and we're really grateful to any organization that helps us out financially because, yeah, it is, you know, we've got lots of mouths to feed there with all our critters and just trying to keep things fresh and offer great opportunities for our visitors. So those are our main funding sources.
How did things get started at Marsh Haven Nature Center back there in 1984?
Yeah, so there was a gentleman named Larry Vine. He was working for the state DNR at that time as a biologist and a bird bander. And actually, there was not a visitor center on the Horican Marsh at that time.
Huh, okay.
So he saw all these people, you know, thousands of people were coming to this amazing area. And there was not a place to stop in to learn and to find out where do I go to see the Horican Marsh. And so Larry and his wife Sandy, they started Marsh Haven around their kitchen table. We always say with about 10 cents to their name, about 7 people that showed up to this informative meeting. And it's really a grassroots organization that grew from there.
And one of the other amenities that's available there, you still have the pavilion.
Yes.
And tell us about the pavilion.
Yeah, so it's a picnic shelter area, and around that is what we call our tenting area. So we actually get a lot of scout groups, 4-H clubs. We've had different organizations that you can stay overnight, set up a tenting area, and then use the picnic shelter for making food or just sitting there enjoying some lunch. So there's that big open area, which we also utilize during the fall for our Fall Living History Festival. We have the tents and teepees that are set up during that time frame. And we have Damacy Lodge, which is, so it's very rustic. It's kind of like a bunkhouse style. When I say lodge, it always sounds really fancy to me, like it's, you know, the Hilton or something, but it's very rustic. But it is a place for groups, again, to stay overnight. Gets out of the weather a little bit, so it's a step up from a tent, but it's still, it's really unique opportunity because with that pond there, in the morning you've got geese coming in, you've got cranes calling, you've got other birds flying over, and so you're right there when you wake up and step outside your tent. There's there's nature all around you.
It's called the Damacy Lodge.
Damacy Lodge.
How does
yes.
how did it get that name?
It was named after Joyce and Cully Damacy, who were instrumental in helping to build that, and some of the first volunteers that we had at the Nature Center.
Tell us about the naming of the pavilion.
So the amphitheater is Respect Our Earth Amphitheater, and that was named by Barbara Harvey, who was a raptor rehabilitator for 30-some years of her life. And so Barbara started coming out probably in about 1986 to bring her education birds out to do programs. And at that time, there was really nothing there. It was just land. And so they put snow fence up to keep people away from the birds, and they had telephone poles that, people could sit on. And then Barbara donated some money to put up that amphitheater, and they wanted to name it the Barbara Harvey Theater. And she said, no, I want it named Respect Our Earth, because that was very important message for her to send to people.
Now, I know I've seen Barb Harvey, who unfortunately is no longer with us, and in a couple programs on the old television, as it were. There was a Netflix special that was about making your own food for your dogs and cats. I want to say, have we? And you might know the name of that better than I. Have there been any more spotlights on Marsh Haven and Barb Harvey that I should be aware of?
Well, Marsh Haven was on Discover Wisconsin a few times,
Oh,
probably
nice.
about three times
Excellent.
recently. And then before Barbara had passed away, she came out and she had been writing articles for the newsletter, which goes out quarterly, the Marsh Haven Monarch. And so since the very beginning in 1984, she would write what she called her Critter Corner column. And she would write about different birds that came through her care and, their stories. And, some of them, they make you laugh. Most of them make you cry because they were very, very touching. And so she had all these. There was over 100 articles that she had written. And she came out that fall before she passed away, and she wanted me to help her put them all in a book. And so I said, okay, this winter we're going to sit down and you tell me what you want and how we want to put this together. And unfortunately, that never happened because she was just too sick to do that. And so I finally got it done about 4 years later because her significant other, John Jensen, kept after me. And that one day he said, you know what, I'm not getting any younger. And he was 86 years old at that time. So I said, yes, you are right, John. I have to get this done. So there is a book called Stories from the Bird Lady, which is what she wanted to call it. And they are all of her articles. There's pictures. There's a little introduction about Barbara Harvey, just, how she got her start. And it's just, it's a great legacy for all the work that she did.
Can we get stories from the Bird Lady at the Marsh Haven Nature Center gift shop?
Absolutely.
You mentioned that you had a few new items in the gift shop as well. Pet Fooled, by the way, was the name of that
Yes, there you go.
Netflix show
Yep,
that had, there's an interview with Barb Harvey in there, I want to say. Tell us about the new additions to the gift shop, if you would, Renee.
Yeah, so we have one of our volunteers, Mary, who kind of took over gift shop duties from me, which is great because Mary has done an amazing job. So she has brought in a lot more kids things, and things that are pretty reasonable. So when kids come in, especially with their grandparents, it's always like, hey, can you buy me something? So we have some rubber snakes, which I think are going to be a huge hit. And lots of just educational but fun kind of kid toys. Everything's nature related. We have some new stone jewelry, crystal jewelry, rocks, geodes. We have some cool new mugs with, they're like insulated coffee mugs that have different bird pictures on, and some metal art for your garden or for outside. And then puzzles, lots of books. We brought in more books on field guides and just IDing birds, how to bring birds to your backyard, making your own bird food kind of thing. And so, we really try to focus on educational, practical, and fun stuff. So I think there's a little bit of something for every nature lover out there.
Good place for the family to take out
Yeah.
the kids, the grandkids.
Absolutely, yes.
Enjoy a nice picnic lunch.
Yes,
See a little
yes.
bit of nature. Folks can do things this weekend at Marsh Haven Nature Center. Saturday and Sunday, you've got two distinctly unique opportunities each day. Tell us
We
about them.
do. So on Saturday, if you want to work in support of Earth Day, we have our annual volunteer work day. It runs 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and it's just kind of a drop-in, bring some work gloves, and we provide snacks and a list of tasks that need to be done to help us get ready for the season. There's inside and outside opportunities, it might be vacuuming, cleaning, trail work, just walking around cleaning up litter from the winter, and raking. So there's a little bit of everything out there. So we'd appreciate anybody's help on that. And then Sunday is our annual Earth Day celebration. And so that also runs 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That day. And we always have some recycled crafts for the kids to do and take with them. We'll be making bird feeders, recycled bird feeders, planting milkweed. They can decorate their own planters and then plant some milkweed seeds to take home with them. We have animal helpers activity, so they'll go around and they'll answer questions about some of our animal friends that live at Marsh Haven, come back, and then they can adopt a stuffed animal to take home with them with a little adoption certificate. That was a hit last year, so we're going to do that again. And then some Earth Day scavenger hunts. And then at 1 o'clock, I will be doing a Wild Birds of Prey program in the indoor Respect Our Earth Theater. So
That's all
yes,
this weekend.
It is.
Marsh Haven Nature Center, Highway 49, just 2 or 3 miles outside of Waupun toward Brownsville. And you do have a website.
We do. It's marshhaven.org.
Okay. Are you going to be doing things for the Big Horicon Bird Festival this year?
Yes, we are partners in that, and so that is always Mother's Day weekend, and we partner with our refuge, and then also with the state DNR. And so on Friday of Bird Festival weekend at Marsh Haven, we will have a nest box hike. So we have about 40 nest boxes around the property, so we'll hike around and we'll check and see what kind of activities going on. Usually the nests are just starting. We don't necessarily have eggs by that time, but you just never know. So it's always fun. So we talk about how we monitor those boxes, and we usually get a good crowd for that. So that is at 3 o'clock on Friday of the Mother's Day weekend. And then Saturday and Sunday, I will be doing raptor programs both days. Saturday, it's at 3 o'clock, and Sunday, it's at 1 o'clock. And then Bill Amadon, he's Birdman Bill from over by Campbellsport. He comes in and brings his bird houses and bird feeders, and he has those set up and answers any questions. So if you're trying to attract certain birds, he'll give you some good tips and what you need to do.
And when you've got one of your raptor learning events, this is a real hands-on thing. You bring the kids out, and they're not only learning a few things about their fine feathered friends, but also the advantages to the environment, and they get the tactile experience of being able to see them.
Yes, absolutely. Like I said, owls especially are very elusive. They camouflage so well, so you often don't see them other than pictures in a magazine or maybe a documentary on TV, but you often don't see them in the wild. And so this is an opportunity to see them pretty close. I mean, obviously it's not totally hands-on. We can't have you hold them or anything because we are permitted by U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and they do not allow that. And it would not be comfortable for our birds either. But you get to see them, a lot closer than you normally would.
And you're going to get to see some fine feathered or furry friend of Renee's here from Marsh Haven Nature Center. We are going to take a break first. When we come back, we'll be introduced to that particular animal. We invite you, if you're listening to us on radio, to check out the Daily Dodge TV tab. You'll be able to get a firsthand, a bird's eye view, if you will, of all the things that we're doing over here. We'll take that break. We'll come back. We'll get to meet her friend. We'll talk a little bit about some of the other exciting things going on at Marsh Haven Nature Center this year, and also pick up a few Earth Day tips before we turn the microphone over to our friends from Downtown Beaver Dam, Inc., who will be in to talk about the Beaver Dam Earth Day celebration taking place this Saturday. So we'll take that break and be back here in just a few minutes.
Here's a look at your weatherology forecast. Scattered thunderstorms likely this afternoon, otherwise cloudy skies expected. Highs level off around 67, southerly winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 37. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Highs level off around 54. Tomorrow, sunshine mixed with clouds at times. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. Currently, it's 61.
From the Slimmerland Furniture Studio, this is 95.3 WBEV Beaver Dam, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
As a veteran of our country's armed services, you may be experiencing hardships, but we are clear in our mission. No Wisconsin veteran should ever have to face homelessness or lose heat, power, or water again. Apply today by calling 833-WIS-VRAP. That's 833-947-8727. Visit VRAPWI.com.
If you're grilling this weekend, be sure to have plenty of Artisan Hearth buns and rolls on hand. Fancy equipment and secret sauces are great, but once you've mastered the basics, it's all about the bun. Your perfectly grilled burgers and hot dogs deserve the best, and with several varieties to choose from, including Wisconsin brat buns, gourmet brioche, French, and onion rolls, the bakers of Artisan Hearth have the buns and rolls your family will love. Artisan Hearth, locally baked, delivered fresh daily.
Hey there, this is Mike at Wiseway Flooring. I want you to close your eyes and imagine there was no pandemic, no crazy freight charges, and there is no inflation. That's the way it'll feel today when you stop at Wiseway Flooring, where all our stock flooring is on sale for 25% off. I'm Mike Yenser of Wiseway Flooring, inviting you to visit our showrooms in Watertown, Lake Mills, and Economwalk for the best deals of the year. Log into INeedFlooringNow.com or visit us on Facebook.
When it comes to rural internet options, you don't have to settle for slow, intermittent, and expensive service. Turn to Networks Internet, connecting you to the world. Networks Internet specializes in getting fast, reliable, and local high-speed internet to hard-to-reach places. Visit networks.net, that's networks.net, for residential plans and more information. That's Networks, networks.net, or call 1-800-638-9879.
Watertown Regional Medical Center now offers the state-of-the-art VELYS robotic-assisted solution for total knee replacement surgery. The VELYS robot tailors to each patient's needs, bringing improved outcomes, increased mobility, and gets patients back to the life and activities they love doing faster. If you're wondering whether a knee replacement procedure using robotic assistance is right for you, visit watertownregional.com or call 920-206-6500. Watertown Regional Medical Center. Be well, live well. That's why they're here. Accepting all major insurances, including Dean.
Why? Just think about it. Why is the #1 selling brand of chainsaws not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot? We can give you over 10,000 reasons. That's how many authorized local steel dealers you can find across the country. Visit one and you'll find a range of dependable gas and battery-powered tools, from trimmers to blowers. And you'll find service from experienced professionals. Real steel. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
Green Acres CBD is celebrating 420 this year with a 20% off special from Thursday 420 through the weekend. We have all of your needs covered with a full line of CBD and Delta THC products available. We're located at 820 Park Avenue in the Park Village Shopping Center in Beaver Dam. Please visit us either in-store or you may take advantage of savings online at greenacres-cbd.com and use promo code SAVE20.
Got bad? Follow the Dodge County Sheriff's Office Most Wanted on dailydodge.com. Brought to you by QBS Law.
This is 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. Let's go back to Craig Warmbold for more community comment.
And our guest on this segment is Renee Wallin. She is the executive director of Marsh Haven Nature Center, just outside of Waupun, Wisconsin, Highway 49. And we're in talking about Earth Day, the activities that are going on this weekend. If you want to pitch in and help out on Earth Day Saturday, the 22nd, this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., they'll have their spring cleanup. And boy, they sure would love to be able to have you stop by and help with some of the indoor and outdoor tasks that are needed. Snacks will be provided. Then on Sunday, they're having their big Earth Day celebration. That's 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. A chance to plant milkweed, make a recycled bird feeder, crafting, hiking, visiting with the critters. It's one of the things that we're going to be doing here to kick off this segment. Renee and I, along with Ninja, our camera operator, are the only three humans in the studio today. Tell us about our the fourth living creature in the Daily Dodge television studios, if you would.
Yeah, so I brought one of our avian animal ambassadors with us. Her name is Indy, and she is an eastern screech owl. And so I will get her out of her travel box, and then I can tell you a little bit more about her when you see her.
All right, fantastic. And a reminder to our listeners, if you're listening on the radio right now and you want to see Indy, you can go to dailydodge.com, check out the DDTV tab, the Daily Dodge TV tab. And for the benefit of our radio listeners, Renee has got her big, thick glove on. I'm sure there's a name for that glove.
It's just a talon glove.
Okay, all right, it's a talon glove. And she's opening the box right now. It is a green metal box with holes in it. It's about, I'd say 2 feet by a foot, maybe. Oh, and here is Indy. Wow. And Indy is quite a beautiful creature. Now, this is an eastern screech owl.
Yes. So Indy is a gray phase eastern screech owl. And screech owls can come in two different colorations, so a red phase or a gray phase, and you can have both red and gray in the same hatch. They can be brothers and sisters, different colors. It's just kind of the way the genetics works out. And we were talking about camouflage, and can you just, when looking at her, can you imagine if she were sitting in a tree
Right.
and how she would blend into the bark?
Just, yeah, it would be interchangeable.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
she just winked at me.
So Indy's story is that she was hit by a car.
Oh.
So she is totally blind in her left eye, which you can probably see is a little cloudy and looks different than the other one.
And it blinks at a different rate than the other one,
It
too?
might,
or is that normal?
it might, yeah. Mainly it's just that cloudiness that you see. And then she also broke her left leg. And so it didn't heal properly. So the talons are kind of curled up on themselves. They don't work right. And yeah, you are a little sleepy today. Yes, she was in a dark box, so it takes her a minute to adjust her pupils there. So that's the main problem, is that leg. And so somebody found her side of the road, took her into a rehab center, and they tried to fix her up as best they could, but that leg just did not heal right. So there's some nerve and tendon damage there. And so again, those talons don't work well. So I always tell her story is that they sent her to mouse school to see if she could be released into the wild. And so mouse school consists of putting her in an enclosure with live mice running around. And then they watch to see, can she catch a live mouse? So if she could in an enclosed area, then they know, well, she could probably still hunt in the wild. But she failed mouse school.
Oh.
So she could not catch any mice. And so if she couldn't catch them, in that kind of environment, there's no way she would catch them in the wild. So she was deemed non-releasable. So they figured she would probably starve if she was turned loose in the wild. So she came to live with us. She's from northern Indiana, which is why her name is Indy.
Not because of Indiana Jones.
No. So I drove down there to pick her up, and we've had her probably about 4 years now.
Oh.
And so she is adult. She is full grown. Sometimes people see the size and think that she's a baby owl. But she is not. This is as big as screech owls are. They are small owls.
I would
so.
say that's what, like about 6 inches tall,
yeah,
maybe
yep.
at best.
Yep, that's about right. And weight-wise, we measure her in grams. So she weighs about 200 grams, which is kind of like holding 5 nickels in your hand. So she's very, very light.
Like holding 5 nickels.
Yes.
That's so all those feathers. That's a lot of feather.
There's
there.
a lot of feathers. Yes, lots of feathers. And so, yes, not a lot of weight because, again, they have to fly. And so they're very, very light. People usually misjudge a weight of a bird. They think, I'll always ask the kids, like the bigger birds, they'll be like 5 pounds, 10 pounds. It's like, try 1.5 pounds. So they're pretty small.
So Renee, we told you before the program started that whatever reason, the rain starting, in this very studio we're in, we just saw a tiny little mouse not 45 minutes ago here. If the mouse were to come back, is Indy completely blind? Is she blind in the one eye?
Just blind in the one eye, so
Okay.
she can see movements,
All
and
right.
Who knows what she would do? I have no idea.
Would this be an official mousing class if she were to somehow be able to get the mouse, which we would pay her for, by the way?
Okay, good to
you know,
know.
the standard fee for whatever that is.
Remember, they don't send you a bill.
It's true.
That's right.
From the raptor
They
class.
are nature's mousetraps.
That
So
is
yes,
true.
yes. So no bill.
Do you know, would she be able, do you think she would be able to, even though she didn't pass the school? Have you put mice with her in the same
No.
room, or?
No. Her food, and we feed all of our raptors stuff that's already dead.
Okay.
So we don't feed any live prey to any of our birds just because of, most of them are with us because they can't catch their own food. And so it would be very frustrating for them. They could possibly hurt themselves. And, it's just wouldn't be a good situation. So she's used to seeing just a mouse laying there, and then she will eat that.
But she does get the mouse.
She does get
eventually.
the mouse, yes.
What should people do if they find themselves in that situation, not unlike the individual who found Indy at the side of the road? What should we do if we see a raptor, or if we see a falcon or an owl?
Yeah, I always encourage people to, be that person that takes time out of your day to stop and help, because all of our wildlife needs help, and they're all important. And so there is a list of licensed wildlife rehabilitators on the DNR website. So if you're not sure who's in your area, you can go there, and you can check out and then get a phone number and then call somebody and let them know. If it's safe, you can get that animal, especially get it into a safe area. Get it off the road or get it away from the road. Get it in a box if you can. Keep it quiet, dark. Don't try to feed it. And give a call to a rehabber, and be that kind person that, maybe takes an hour out of your day to drive them there and drop them off. But always call first, because they often will triage the animals coming in to, give you information and ask some questions before they have you bring them over. But yeah, I always hear a lot of people will say, we'll just let nature take its course. And unfortunately, a lot of the reasons these birds are injured is because of humans. So it's not nature. And so we're often the cause of it. So I think, it's nice just to help out when we can.
So when you're in that moment of helping out, get us from point A to point B in terms of that bird sitting at the side of the road to it. What kind of safety, when you're acting as that intermediary between the licensed wildlife rehabilitator that you find on the DNR website, what are we doing?
Sure. So the most important thing to remember about the birds is their talons. The talons are, not so much, people always think, oh, it's going to bite me. But on a bird of prey, the talons are what's going to get you. And so you want to make sure you keep yourself safe from those talons. Even if they're hurt, they're scared, and they don't know that you're helping. So if you have some gloves that you can put on, usually if you can do a body grab or put a towel over them, keep your hands protected with some kind of gloves, and just scoop them up, get them into a box, and secure them.
Secure them.
Yeah, so just, don't just fold the box over, put something around it to keep the box shut, and maybe put a towel in the bottom so they have a little traction in there. And again, the most important is just keeping them very quiet, keeping it very dark. Don't take pictures of it, don't drive around to show your friends, and do not feed them. Because I know people, the first thing they want to do is they want to give it some water, or they want to give it, some milk or something. That bird probably has more serious injuries, and feeding it could be detrimental. So they don't need to eat right now. They need to get to some medical help.
The airflow in said box, that's something you should be conscious of, I would assume?
You could put some holes in there, yes, but not very large, because if they see daylight, they're going to try to get out. So.
Oh.
Yeah, so just
okay.
something that they have a little airflow in there, yes.
And are there things that we can do in our environment that is more hospitable for eastern screech owls?
Don't use mouse poison.
Oh.
So oftentimes, people will see mice in their radio studio.
Sure.
Or their basement and say, oh, I'm going to get some mouse poison, and put some poison out. So I always say, if the mouse got in, it probably can get out again. And so if the mouse eats poison, he doesn't die right away. It takes about 8 to 12 hours for that poison to work. In the meantime, he could go outside, and a little owl could be hunting and grab him, not knowing he's full of poison. He'll eat that mouse, and then that owl could die too.
Oh.
So mouse poison causes a lot of secondary poisoning in our raptors.
Okay.
Because remember I said red-tailed hawks, 98% of their diet is rodents. So if some of those rodents have poison in, you're going to kill those raptors.
Well, if our general manager is listening, who we reported the mouse to less than an hour ago, please heed the words of our guest on Community Comment today, Renee Wallin, with Marsh Haven Nature Center, which is open right now as we speak. What kind of numbers of the eastern screech owl? How are they doing as far as populations?
They're doing pretty well. I don't have specific numbers for you, but the concern with these guys too is kind of like our American kestrels. They are also cavity nesters. So they use old dead trees to raise their young in, lay their eggs. And as people are cleaning up, the woodlots, they see old dead trees as something to cut down and get rid of. But those old dead trees are really important. They provide a lot of habitat for a lot of wildlife, not just our owls. And so if you cut down a tree, replace it with a man-made nest box. Keep those trees standing unless they're going to fall on your garage or your house or something like that. But keep them up there because they are important. And so, the more trees we cut down, the less habitat these birds have to live in.
We've been talking a lot about milkweed. In fact, when you have your Earth Day celebration on Sunday, the day after your volunteer work day over at Marsh Haven Nature Center, planting milkweed is going to be part of that. Why do we talk about planting milkweed? What's the importance there?
Yeah, so milkweed is important for our monarch butterflies, and that's the only food source for our monarch caterpillars as they are growing. And so our monarchs are declining. They say we've lost over 80% of our population in the last 20 years. And much of that decline is due to loss of habitat. And, unfortunately, milkweed is named weed, so people think they need to get rid of it. And it is very important. And, again, it's a food source for those monarchs that their numbers are severely declining. So planting more milkweed helps encourage more monarchs.
And the Indy is now completely looking behind itself, which, that's just one of the amazing things about owls, isn't it?
Yes, they have very good range of motion. They don't turn their head all the way around, as Barbara Harvey used to say. They can only do it once.
Oh.
Ha-ha.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
And so they can turn their head about 270 degrees each way. So it's kind of like looking over their other shoulder.
Oh.
So they have amazing rotation because, again, they sit very still. Their eyes are fixed in their skull, so they have to move their head to be able to see what they're hearing.
Do you know how she's feeling right now? Is there stress or anything like that? Is that the type of thing you're able to read?
Yeah, so I do pay very close attention to them, and she is, screech owls are a tufted owl, so you see she has some feather tufts there. So her tufts tell me kind of her mood too. And right now she's interested. She's not terribly concerned, but she is keeping an eye on things and, you know, any movements, and she would pick up on that and make sure she's safe. But she's, you know, definitely not very stressed at the moment. She's done a lot of programs. She's traveled to a lot of places with me, so she's kind of used to this. But yeah, she's always aware.
You said she's about 4 years old.
Well, we've had her about 4 years,
Oh,
so
okay.
she was injured as an adult, so we're not
Oh.
sure. Was she 2? Was she 5 when she was injured? We don't know. It's really hard to tell an age unless they're very young or very old.
What's the average lifespan of?
So for eastern screech owl, they can live 8 to 12 years.
Okay.
They generally live longer in captivity because they don't have all those problems out in the wild that they would run into.
So that's, I mean, that's part of your job. We were just talking on the air the other day about cats and dogs just being little packages of heartbreak that, that come to us. That's something that you must encounter on a regular basis.
Yes. And if you talk about it anymore, I will start crying.
Okay,
so.
we will go on to, what are your thoughts about No Mo May?
So, yeah, I definitely build a relationship with these birds. They're not just a prop. They are truly partners in education. And so, yeah, it's devastating when you lose one.
How many educational birds do you have at Marsh Haven?
We have 10 birds on our federal permit.
Okay.
So, from the American crow to, we've got a couple red tails, and then we have 5 owls and a turkey vulture, and so we've got a nice variety of birds.
Are there enough licensed wildlife rehabilitators out there in Wisconsin for all the
Nope.
people that?
No, there are not, for all the people and the animals that need them. It's a lot of work, and you have to study and mentor and take a test, and then, the biggest thing is nobody supports you. There's no check from the state or from the government that comes every month to do this. They're a nonprofit like we are, so they're always after funding and trying to get donations in, and again, it's heartbreaking work because you can't save them all.
So in theory, we can go to the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources website and look for the list of wildlife rehabilitators, licensed wildlife rehabilitators, and possibly do a little digging and see if we can't make a donation to them directly.
Absolutely. I'm sure they'd be so grateful.
Or we can make a donation, maybe become a member of Marsh Haven Nature Center.
Yes, we would be so grateful, I'll tell you that.
That website again?
marshhaven.org.
The program always seems to wind down with an opportunity for some Earth Day tips from our guest here. On this 2023 pre-Earth Day, where Earth Day again is Saturday, changes each year. And is this something that both you and Indy can do? I don't want to stress Indy out any more than I need to, but what kind of tips have you got for us this Earth Day, Renee?
Yeah, so I always, I think I shared a few things that you can do to help our raptors, but I always like to encourage people to just look not any further than your backyard. So you could have eastern screech owls living in your backyard because they are very adaptable. They live in town, they live in the country. And so, again, just learning what lives there and remembering that we are sharing this beautiful planet with a lot of wildlife and a lot of amazing creatures out there. And so educating yourself to what lives in your backyard and finding out ways that you can help them, whether it's putting up nest boxes, not using mouse poison, or planting milkweed. Very easy things that you can do, all of us can do.
I mentioned No Mo May. It sounded like a joke, but what are your thoughts about this movement?
Oh, no, absolutely. I think it's important if you can not mow until all of our critters that have been overwintering in the foliage can get themselves out and hatched. I think it's a very good idea. Good to do.
All right. And some people have kind of had a hybrid approach where they mow strips into their lawn. Is that effective, do you feel?
Well, I think so. I think anything that you can do is beneficial. I know personally I have a very weak lawnmower because I have an electric lawnmower, and so I have to like start mowing in patches, otherwise it will get too long and then I just can't mow it, and I'll have to get some goats or something. But so anything you can do, anything beyond the usual is helpful.
Again, Marsh Haven Nature Center observing Earth Day with an opportunity to spruce things up around the grounds. That's this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Sunday, their Earth Day celebration, the planting of the milkweed, the making the recycled bird feeders, the crafts, the hiking, the critters available. We mentioned the Horicon Marsh Bird Festival and some of the activities that you've got planned around that, but I want to look at the rest of your calendar here before we let you go.
Sure.
And I don't, is this the first, I don't remember this being on the calendar in the past, an exotic pet surrender event.
Yeah, so last year was the first year we partnered with JNR Aquatic Animal Rescue. They're out of Appleton, and they do amazing work. He is super dedicated to what he does, and so yes, he saw this need for people that, especially with exotic pets, often they get them and then they find out, ooh, that was not a good idea to maybe bring that snapping turtle home from the marsh, and now it weighs 30 pounds and it doesn't like me. What do I do with it? And instead of releasing things that shouldn't be in the wild, this is your opportunity to bring them to these rehoming events. Again, no questions asked. Last year we had several snakes that were brought in. We had this huge iguana named, Satan. I think his name was Satan.
Okay.
And the guy's like, is he friendly? And they're like, no. And so yes, it's just a great opportunity. Instead of going, I'm just going to sneak this out someplace, this is a place to bring any pets that you find out, I really can't take care of this, or I'm just not in the right situation. So it's a great opportunity to rehome them and know that they'll go to a good place.
Now, Ninja's got a pet tiger.
Okay, there you go.
What are some of the things that you're looking for, and what are some of the things that you're not?
So they pretty much take anything, especially exotic. They can't take in farm, like you can't bring your chicken or your pet cow or things like that. They're just not equipped because they partner with other rescues and to rehome those animals. So they get a lot of turtles, snakes, a lot of reptiles that come in, but they can also take in birds, parrots, guinea pigs. They've had alligators. People have turned alligators in.
Wow.
So you might want to call first on the tiger.
On the tiger might not be a...
Just might want to prepare him a little bit.
And they are rehomed, so Satan may go somewhere where the environment is a little more hospitable than to somebody who realizes they can't take care of them.
Yep, and sometimes they find them at zoos, that have better enclosures, better setups for them. And so, they all do go to good homes.
You mentioned the Fall Living History Festival. As far as previous years, you're doing it again this year.
We are.
Tell us about the dates and what folks can expect.
Yeah, so Friday, September 22nd will be the Education Day, where we invite schools, homeschool families, groups to come out and go through the encampment. We have people that reenact different time periods, fur trappers, voyageurs, indigenous tribes, and just different groups from history. And so Friday's Education Day, we usually get about 500 school kids that come through that day. And then Saturday and Sunday, September 23rd and 24th, will be open to the general public.
Excellent. And you're wrapping things up for the calendar year with a Christmas party.
Yes, we have our Christmas at Marsh Haven on December 11th, and that is just a fun day. There's no cost. We open up the Nature Center. We have crafters that set up. We usually have food available. We have horse-drawn wagon rides. Santa makes an appearance, and then we usually do an education program too.
Mark it on the calendar. You got a few new events that you're going to be sprinkling in throughout the course of the year as well.
Yeah, so we're partnered with some artists that are doing some paint parties throughout the season, and just check our Facebook page because we'll link the dates to that where you can sign up. But again, it's a fun way to come out and paint some nature scenes and go home with those, kind of a make and take thing. And then we'll get on the calendar a dream catcher workshop and basket weaving workshop, which we actually did 2 of those last year, and those turned out well. And then we'll be planning to do, again, some fall native seed collecting at probably in October, early November. So
You're on Facebook as well.
we are, yes, just Marsh Haven Nature Center.
And then marshhaven.org for the official
Correct,
website. You got
yes.
the calendar on the website, all the details about membership and your location and
Yes, it
everything?
is. It is.
Excellent.
Yep.
Very good. Indy is just such a beautiful, beautiful bird.
She is.
I hate to
yes.
wind the show down.
Yeah.
What is Indy going to be doing for the rest of the day?
So Indy will go back to Marsh Haven. She actually has an enclosure in the museum. So if you do stop by, you can see Indy there. So through the season, she hangs out there. She doesn't do much during the daytime, but her mouse will be waiting at about 4 o'clock today, and it'll be gone by tomorrow morning. And so, yeah, she's got her bath pan there. She often will bathe and eat her mouse and just hang out in her, she has a little nest box there too where she hangs out, so.
And she's alone? It's her
is,
own
yes.
private space,
Yes, right.
essentially.
Right.
Would you ever put 2 of the same type of bird together?
It would really depend on the birds, their personalities. We would never mix species, you know, because bigger owls eat smaller owls, kind of thing in the wild, and kind of depends on their injuries too. So it's really individual.
I want to thank you so much for joining us today and for bringing Indy with you. I mean, it's a remarkable thing, and I could tell just from an experience like a one-on-one interview like this how the kids must be so responsive when you give some of your raptor presentations. Again, there will be a presentation as part of the Earth Day celebration on Sunday.
Yes, at 1 o'clock, and Indy will probably be there.
Indy will be, and maybe a couple of her friends as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, Renee, thank you again for joining us on the program today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Once again, Renee Wallin is the executive director of Marsh Haven Nature Center, and Indy is an eastern screech owl, about 6-7 inches tall. I don't know circumference very well, but floofy. For those on the radio, you're just going to have to go to Daily Dodge TV and check it out, or even better yet, go to the Earth Day celebration on Sunday. But first, you should go to the Earth Day cleanup out at Marsh Haven Nature Center. Help you guys get ready for the season.
Sounds good.
Marshhaven.org. We do have to take a break. When we come back, we're going to continue this Earth Day theme. Our guests will be with Downtown Beaver Dam in to talk about activities taking place in and around the city of Beaver Dam on Saturday, April 22nd, Earth Day. Back in a few minutes.
President Biden's son Hunter, the subject of a couple of investigations. Now a whistleblower who works at the IRS is alleging that Hunter Biden is getting preferential treatment from the Justice Department. ABC News Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas.
ABC News learning that an IRS whistleblower is challenging assurances by the Justice Department that the investigation into Hunter Biden is not being watered down.
The Republican-controlled House passing a bill that would ban nationwide transgender athletes from participating in women's sports. The bill not expected to pass the Senate. SpaceX launched its massive Starship rocket today. It was supposed to circle the globe, but exploded over the Gulf of Mexico minutes after it took off. Today, a 20-year-old becomes the 4th arrest connected to last weekend's Dadeville, Alabama Sweet 16 birthday party shooting. The Alabama law enforcement agency tweeting that Johnny Letron Brown, 20, was formally charged with 4 counts of reckless murder. Wall Street, the Dow down 28 points. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Now is the time to get your vehicle ready for spring and summer travels. The guys at Russ's Tire and Auto in Beaver Dam can do it all. Everything from an oil change to a complete overhaul. Have Russ and Eric check the tires, belts, hoses, and battery. They know American cars and they know foreign vehicles. They partake in continuing education classes to keep up with all the new changes on foreign and American-made vehicles. Russ's Tire and Auto, 1247 Madison Street, Beaver Dam. Put your trust in Russ's Tire and Auto in Beaver Dam.
With U.S. Cellular, you can choose from any unlimited Evolved plan and get $830 off any phone. No trade-in needed. Good news for you, friend who somehow always has a broken phone.
$830 off? That's amazing. Oops. Oh, it's okay. Never mind.
U.S. Cellular. Built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Visit your local U.S. Cellular store at 719 North Spring Street in Beaver Dam by Beaver Dam Food Pride.
If a new smile is what you're looking for, we have the answer for you. Hi, this is Dr. Adam Forster at Columbus Family Dental, where we specialize in making people smile. We promise to take the time to get to know you so we can provide you with a custom plan to help you achieve the smile of your dreams. Our experienced team looks forward to hearing from you soon. Call us today at 623-5559.
This is Matt Heyer from Heyer Insurance. We know the things that matter the most to you are worth keeping safe. Every day we protect things like our cars, our homes, through insurance. But are we protecting our loved ones? Having the peace of mind knowing your family will be financially secure is worth the time to talk about life insurance. Call us at Heyer Insurance, where we can lay out the best options to make sure our family is protected in uncertain times. And remember, when you want to retire, call Heyer.
Are you struggling to find a new boat? Dave and Lenny at Dave's Turf and Marine in Watertown are taking orders and sourcing new 2023 models. If you're thinking you might want a new pontoon or fishing boat this summer, now is the time to place your order with Dave's Turf and Marine. Dave and Lenny have over 72 years of service to this area. Their reputation is great service after the sale. If you ever need boat repairs, relax, they'll take good care of you. Get to Dave's Turf and Marine in Watertown and make that dream of a new boat a reality. If you have an idea of what you're looking for in a boat and motor, the shortcut to your upgrade is Dave's Turf and Marine. Dave and Lenny will find the boat that fits your needs. Visit Dave's Turf and Marine on Eastgate Drive, Highway 16, east of Watertown, and at davesturf.net. Princecraft, dominate the waters.
Save big on your next project with 11% off everything now at Menards. Use Master Garden Premium Potting Mix for better results. It's a ready-to-use formula that contains slow-release fertilizer that feeds plants and vegetables for up to 9 months. Right now, just $7.99 after 11% off at Menards. Good through April 23rd. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Play the Feud with Double D's Thirsty Beaver every Friday morning at 8:35 on the WBEV Morning Show. Guess the number one answer and you'll win a $10 gift certificate to the Thirsty Beaver. Everybody set? Play the Feud Friday mornings at 8:35 on WBEV.
Expanding access to primary care because we care. The Marshfield Medical Center Beaver Dam Primary Care Team is welcoming new patients across the Dodge County region. You can see us in Beaver Dam, Columbus, Horicon, or Waupun, wherever works best for you. So schedule your primary care appointment today. Marshfield Medical Center Beaver Dam. We're not just part of your community. We're in your corner with the care you deserve.
Why? Just think about it. Why is the #1 selling brand of chainsaws not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot? We can give you over 10,000 reasons. That's how many authorized local steel dealers you can find across the country. Visit one and you'll find a range of dependable gas and battery-powered tools, from trimmers to blowers. And you'll find service from experienced professionals. Real steel. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
Tired of being cooped up? Tower Lanes in Beaver Dam is kicking off summer with volleyball leagues the week of May 8th. The league meeting is May 1st at 6 p.m. Come enjoy their outdoor bar and seating area, food and drink specials, pitcher races, and summer bowling discounts. Get your friends together and don't let the summer slip by. Tower Lanes has everything you need to make memories and soak up the summer. Stop in, call, or go online at bowlinginbeaverdam.com to learn more. Summer bowling leagues at Tower Lanes in Beaver Dam start May 8th.
Hey, Pizza Ranch fans! Head over to Pizza Ranch Beaver Dam Monday, April 24th for Guest Appreciation Day. Yee-haw! Pizza Ranch Beaver Dam thanks you for welcoming them with open arms and are putting on an all-day $9.99 buffet. Enter to win some amazing door prizes. The grand prize is a 55-inch TV, and there's even a chance to win a hoverboard. Plus, one lucky winner will receive one pizza a month for an entire year. Good. For more information, check them out on Facebook or visit pizzaranch.com. See you Monday, April 24th for Guest Appreciation Day at Pizza Ranch Beaver Dam.
Wisconsin Radio Network has been on the air for more than 25 years and now boasts more than 100 broadcast signals statewide. Award-winning journalists bringing you news and sports stories that are important to you and your family. Bill Scott's Titletown digs deep into Packer coverage throughout the season. Plus, we're at the Capitol every day. Wisconsin Radio Network has the resources, social media, and digital presence to help you meet your business goals. Business owners, reach out for a meeting with a strategic marketing executive today at WRN.com. That's WRN.com.
Broadcasting from the 95.3 WBEV studios, furnished by Slumberline Furniture and powered by Daily Dodge.
The time is 1:37. Let's join Craig Warmbold for more community comment.
I'll just mention.
Well, thank you very much and good afternoon. Welcome back to Community Comment. We are continuing our Earth Day theme here in this segment, also continuing our video stream, so you could watch this at dailydodge.com. I did require both of our guests today to bring in some live animals, and oh, that's okay. They didn't. That is Dr. Marilyn Thomas. She is with Downtown Beaver Dam, Inc., and she is the chair of the Beaver Dam Earth Day Committee. Thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Thomas.
Thanks for letting us come.
And sitting to her right would be Mary Kuntz. She is with Volunteer Dodge. You can find them online at volunteerdodge.net. And she is also with the Downtown Beaver Dam, Inc. Earth Day Committee. Thank you guys both very much for joining me today.
Thanks, Our pleasure.
So, boy, this has been going on in Beaver Dam for several years now, I want to say.
7 or 8.
7 or 8
I
years.
think.
Nobody's keeping, it's fine.
Kind of.
What is it? How do you explain it? What's the 30-second elevator speech when somebody says, oh, there's a Beaver Dam is having an Earth Day celebration? What do you tell them?
We care about the environment. Excuse me. We care about the environment, and so we take a day to just pay attention to Mother Earth and clean up. So as I said in the newspaper article that came out yesterday, wouldn't it be nice if people didn't throw their trash in the first place, and we could just concentrate on planting flowers and shrubs and trees and make downtown Beaver Dam is looking a whole lot better than it did when I moved here 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have to just keep that going. In
Yeah.
fact, the downtown is quite lovely, and the park, awesome, Swan Park. So big steps in the right direction. I think we just have to keep it going.
That's right. So, I would agree with you. The city's never looked better, and I've been here going on 17 years now. I don't know what your year count is, Mary. On
18.
18. Okay, so we're in about the same boat here. And sometimes I feel like Beaver Dam, if there's trash, I feel like the community's pretty solid about not littering too much. Like maybe a garbage can gets blown over and you get some stuff, but from the city level, they seem to be doing a good job sweeping the streets
Right.
and generally speaking. But that doesn't, you're not going to get 100%.
No, and you have to look at the alleys.
Mhm.
So when I talked to the manager at Great Harvest, he said, I'm so glad you're going to clean up because the alleys look terrible.
Mhm.
So we'll be doing that too.
Is that a focus for is there a particular focus for this weekend?
It's all the downtown area, front, center, downtown.
Sorry?
So what we do is divide into groups, and groups go around and pick up trash and do cleanup. Some of the groups will go along the river and clean up that area, and then around the streets, like Marilyn said. And if we have enough people there, we'll look at doing some parks in Beaver Dam as well.
Okay, what's that time? When do I want to be downtown to be part of this?
9:30
Okay, and where would that be?
behind the American Bank, which is on Front Street.
Okay,
So
so-
right behind there's a shelter. So we'll be handing out bags, gloves, garbage picker-uppers, what do you call those things? Grabbers.
Grabbers, okay.
Okay, so they have an hour to pick up trash. Here's the good news. You pick up trash for an hour, bring those bags back, and guess what? You get a prize.
No kidding. Is
Great
that right?
Harvest is offering anybody who picks up trash a $10 gift card for Great Harvest.
Oh.
And that card can be redeemed anytime. It doesn't have to be Earth Day, and it doesn't have to be for a specific item, anything. $10. That's what it's worth.
That's just fantastic. They seem like big givers back to the community over there
They
at Great
are.
Harvest. I know
They really are.
Justin, the manager over
Yeah.
there, he got they're raising flour right now, and you've only got a few more days to do it, or well, what is it, the 20th? So about 10 more days to do it. You get the flour, and they're they're trying to stock the food pantry. I know different people are doing different things as it relates to that. Not what we called you here for today, but it's great to hear that Great Harvest has got a part of that.
Yes.
So river cleanup, Swan Park, is Swan Park considered part of the downtown for cleanup?
No.
Okay.
No, not this year, but I think I also need to add
Okay.
that at the end of that garbage pickup, there'll be a tree planting ceremony.
Ah.
And for that event, John Newman is planting a Triumph elm. We
Oh.
plant a tree every year, so that's
Okay.
been happening now for 7 or 8 years. And the mayor, Becky Gluen, will be speaking, and the children's group called One Voice, directed by Judy Heffron,
Sure.
will be singing. And if she
Aw.
doesn't have enough children there, we can all join in.
What if we don't know the words?
You do. It's going to be "This land is your land," and we all know the words.
Okay, fair enough then. Again, this is all taking place on Saturday. Beautify your own backyard. Start right here on Earth Day and try to get that going on. So tell us a little bit about you said it was a Triumph elm?
Yes.
Okay. Are you anybody a botanist here? Is that the right term? That would could give us some insight into what type of tree that is? Do we know what that looks like? Have we seen one around?
Arborist would be the term.
Arborist, duh. I should have known that. It's Arbor Day's a week from tomorrow, and that's, the mayor did
I'll tell you
proclaim.
what, I think
Yeah.
what's important to know is that we may remember, I remember, all the Dutch elms died.
Yeah.
So to plant this not a Dutch elm, but this Triumph elm, which will survive in our area. I mean, one of the key things everybody's trying to do is stick to native trees.
Yeah.
Because when we start planting things like blue spruce, they don't like this climate, so
The emerald ash borer
that
was
too,
also
wrong
quite.
kind of tree.
Yeah, those ash trees. In fact, John Newman, just at this week's city council meeting, while talking about this event, mentioned that above and beyond this, he's going to be planting, I want to say, 115 other trees over the next couple weeks from the
Great.
tree nursery in town.
Great.
So, yeah, I mean, it's so important to be. I've been in communities without trees, and you always feel like something's missing.
And speaking of trash, I was trying to think of a way to do this. I mean, not that that's trash,
No,
not
no,
that you're
okay.
trash, did I say that?
No,
about
no,
trash?
no, I loved it. Go on.
But back to the subject of trash. I was thinking when I decided I would go ahead and share this group, I thought, I wonder if there's a way I could just get everybody in this town to clean up their own block. Just clean up the block where I live. This town would just be 100% better in a day. But I couldn't figure out how to do that.
Well, maybe just verbalizing that right now
Right
would be
now.
enough for people. I mean, you hear so much about think globally, act locally, look in your own backyard when you try to make that change that influences hopefully other people in the world. And I mean, that's exactly this right here.
Right,
Too much trash out there.
right.
All right.
And before we lose track of time, we should give a shout out to some of the activities, which I'll forget if I don't say them right now. So
Okay.
can I go and say them?
I think this is a
Okay,
good idea
guys.
because there's an action-packed list of things that are going on, are there not?
Yes, things I don't want to forget.
Let's not forget them.
First
Without
thing I
further
don't
ado.
want to forget is that we're going to have a town crier.
Oh, really? Like a town crier?
A town crier.
And when is this? Where is this? This is part of the cleanup?
Yes, it's a surprise guest.
Oh, so you're not going to say who it is?
No, I guess not.
Okay.
Be
I
in
could, but
costume.
I guess not.
They'll be in
He'll
costume.
be in costume.
Okay.
And I think he's going to go around town and cry.
And he's going to say, clean up, clean
That's
up.
it.
Will he be ringing a bell?
It's going to be a big surprise.
Oh,
So if you want
okay.
to see a big surprise, come on out.
So don't sleep in tomorrow, or Saturday, I
Right.
should say, or tomorrow either, for that matter.
And another thing that's not on, there are flyers and posters around town, but if you don't see a flyer and a poster, what's not on the flyer or the poster is Art on the Town. So I thought I would give her a shout out and say she's having activities at her store.
She does a great job over
Yes,
there.
so they're going to be painting what?
Nature-friendly painting projects.
Thank
And
you.
then an Earth Day-themed painting class from 1 to 4.
Okay, and that's at Art on the Town.
Right.
Are there a few things that are popping up on Friday before, tomorrow, before
Well, that
Earth Day?
pop-up graffiti, as you see on there,
Uh-huh. What's that all about?
I'll let Mary explain that.
Mary?
So pop-up graffiti is, the idea is that it's, not something that impacts the environment at all. So she puts graffiti on the side of a building, I think on the southeast corner of Front and Center. She will have earth-themed messages and text on there regarding the theme of Earth Day.
Well, that's great.
So
They're
that's
flashed on the wall.
Yeah.
And it's not permanent.
Correct.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I explained that. So it's projected on the
Oh,
wall.
okay.
So she
Excellent.
starts that later in the evening, obviously, once it gets dark. So 8 o'clock on Friday. She will be at the southeast corner of Front and Center, and then at 9 o'clock outside the wall of the Beaver Dam Cinema.
Getting us ready for Earth Day. Even though Earth Day should be every day, wouldn't you agree?
I wouldn't disagree.
All right.
Of course I agree.
That'd be a lot to plan, though. One day is hard enough, I imagine. So let's talk about some of the other things that are going on Saturday. Great Harvest has got a wonderful thing going on.
Oh, the dirt cups.
Mm-hmm.
So for Earth Day, and Earth Day only, dirt cups for $1. Otherwise, they're $2. And of course, you know what you get when you get a dirt cup, right?
Get a cup of dirt.
No, what do you get?
And
You
worms?
get chocolate cake.
It's actually my favorite birthday cake that my lovely wife and other loved ones in my life have made over the years. It's like a vanilla pudding with layers of Oreo.
Well, thank you.
Oh, I love it.
With
I mean, it's just
worms
my
on
favorite.
top.
You put the gummy worms on
Whipped
top, not
cream.
actual worms.
Well,
right.
What?
Well, you don't put actual worms in there. You put
No!
gummy worms in there.
Really?
Yeah, it's much better.
Oh,
You should try it with the gummy
so
worms.
disappointed.
Oh, Marilyn.
So that's from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's all day over at Great Harvest.
Yes.
So tell us about this electronics recycling opportunity on Saturday then.
Go to Habitat for Humanity. Good place to get rid of things you don't want, like old computers, old televisions.
So for Saturday morning, she's actually going to be set up in the tower parking lot.
Oh, she is, I didn't know.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
tell.
So for a small fee, you can recycle TVs, monitors, et cetera. They're $1.50 an inch. Some items are free, including computer towers, circuit boards, hard drives, servers, laptops.
Okay. And I have dropped things off directly to Laura Goral and in the tower parking lot over there in previous Earth Day celebrations. And it's quick, it's easy, it's right there, it's where everything's happening.
Yes, that's
And
right.
the Restore will actually accept scrap metal anytime. So that's good to know, too.
Okay. Some good things to keep in mind there. What's this about recycled candy wrapper cord? Wrap it and make it and take it? What is that all about?
I guess to go and find out.
Okay, that's a good, where is that going to be?
Oh, it's that, what does it say here?
It says,
Nancy Zeman's Sewing
Studio.
Studio on Front Street.
Is that where we got this? Do you have to return this?
Yes,
to-
that's exactly right.
Okay, so we borrowed this for the purpose of the program today, and by this I mean a
Sorry, Deanna, I'll bring it back.
brochure that will be up there shortly, but is now on the Daily Dodge TV video stream if you're checking it
So
out.
Mary,
So-
you know more about these
Yeah,
cords.
what I think that is just something that you can use to organize your cords for
perfect.
your electronic cords, like your charger cords and cables.
So are you going to be making these, or are you going to be?
They are, it's a
already
make it and take it.
Oh, make it and take it. And that's right at the Nancy Zeman Sewing Studio. Say hi to Deanna and all the Stitch It sisters while you're over there.
That's right. And you don't have to take anything, they've got all the material there.
They got it all right there.
Just walk in.
A good opportunity, again, to be in downtown Beaver Dam, because everything we're talking about today is focused on downtown Beaver Dam and is meant to help replenish that wonderful revitalization effort that's going on down there.
And enjoy those beautiful new trees.
That's
which are
right.
going to bloom soon.
The Triumph Elm.
And the trees all the way up and down Front Street, which were put in, 3 years ago?
Yeah, I want to say 2 or 3. Those look great, don't they?
They are looking good. I think they're ornamental pear trees.
Is that what they
They
are?
should be blooming pretty
Okay.
soon, maybe in a month, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, I don't know.
Downtown Beaver Dam hasn't looked better.
That's right.
So tell us now, another downtown entity is going to be participating in some of these activities going on. Tell us, if you would, about the Dodge County Center for the Arts.
Do you want to do it, or should I?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll fill in.
Dodge County Center for the Arts is doing something that I would love to do personally, and that is go in, they'll give us a pot, we can paint the pot, they'll give us the soil, fill the pot, and There will be seed packets. You can plant seeds. And the seed packets are donated by Woodman Insurance.
Great.
Cassandra Schmidt.
Modern Woodman.
Excuse me, Modern Woodman. And I think also those seed packets are available at McKinstry's. And I think I might just have a stack to give out when people pick up their bags.
Oh, excellent.
To
Very
pick
good.
up trash, if anybody wants seeds. There are all kinds of seeds. And that's a fun thing to do, just put seeds in a pot and see if you can make them grow.
The library's getting in on the action as well. It looks like they have activities going on from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. as part of the big Earth Day celebration. Any insights that you can give us into that?
Mary's got all the information.
Yeah, it's just an upcycled art show, and people were submitting entries. Entries are due by tomorrow at 7 p.m. And if you want more info on that, you can contact the library directly.
Yeah, doing wonderful things over there on North Spring Street. What's this?
Speaking of the seeds, excuse me,
Yeah.
Craig, McKinstry's will have seed packets available as well, and trash bags.
Okay.
They have a big 165th anniversary sale going on, and so you can stop in there and check that out and pick up some seed packets.
Isn't that mind-blowing? 165 years. The oldest furniture store in the state of Wisconsin. Just absolutely remarkable.
And to think they started selling coffins.
Right, they don't sell them anymore. We found out, we asked, Ninja
You
asked the
asked.
last time he was over there. Maybe, you never know. It's
Good question.
Yeah, sure. So what's this about a slow roll bike ride?
It's just what it says. Bicycles. A group gets together. Patrick Lutz is in charge of that activity, and they get together at the tree planting ceremony and ride their bikes
Excellent, very
around
good.
town.
What time is that?
Slowly.
Slowly.
It's right after the tree planting ceremony until they get tired.
Okay.
And then they'll go to Great Harvest and have a drink.
Good things to keep
And
in mind
lunch.
here. And lunch. And you get that $10 gift certificate for
That's it.
cleaning up.
That's it.
Which you'll get you the big zesty, I hear, over at Great Harvest. And then pop-up graffiti will continue. It's not just Friday, it's Friday and Saturday.
And
You're going
Saturday,
to see this. So where is the tree going to be planted tomorrow?
It's 121 East Maple Street. I'm sorry, it's, 120. It's either 120
Sure.
or 121. It says 120. Same place, right?
Yeah, it's
East Maple Street. It's within easy walking distance of the trash bag pickup, drop off.
All right.
So we'll drop off, 10:30, everybody drops off their garbage bags filled. Then we all walk over to 120 East Maple, where there'll be a big hole in the ground.
So the hole will already be there. We don't have to worry about digging it.
Well, you might have to
I
dig
thought,
it.
I thought you were digging it.
Oh, was I digging the hole?
I
Okay,
think so.
well,
You're
I need to
supposed
put it
be
on my
there at
calendar
8.
here
You
real
better
quick.
Note that. You have to be there at 8 with the shovel.
8 o'clock shovel, got it, duly noted. By BMO Harris Bank, who's 120
That sounds
East,
right.
it's kind of right in that area over there. So, this is the big question that we've got, Marilyn.
Yeah.
Why? Why should we do it? Why should we participate in this? Why is this important?
Because we want to keep this earth beautiful.
Yeah, all right, that's 100% of the answer right
The
there.
thing is, this earth, we treat it as if it's always going to be here, and we're always going to have fresh water, and we're always going to have everything we need, and that isn't the case. And I'm going to throw out something personal here. I moved here from Northern California, where if I wanted to water my grass, I had to pay a high price for that, and in fact, sometimes it wasn't allowed. I would be fined. So I got rid of grass, and that's my next thing. It's good to get rid of grass and put in flowers and shrubs. They talk about no mow May. I think the incentive behind that was to encourage people to plant flowers, more flowers and plants and shrubs. Grass is a big water hog. So in Northern California, they pay us not to grow grass. Here, we're so fortunate, it rains. Northern California, it doesn't rain for 6 months out of the year. Why did I move here? That's the answer. I like a garden. And I want to be able to be able to afford to water it when I have to. But this earth is not a given. We have to take care of it. So Does that satisfy the question?
That does
Did
satisfy.
I get an A?
You get an A. We don't know what Mary's answer is yet, though. There's an A riding on the line here, Mary. Let's see if you could achieve the same level.
I cannot top that answer, but I'll also say, we care about our downtown as well. And so these organizations and businesses have come together to try to plan activities and do things to spruce up the downtown and create things for people to do down there. So we want to support that as well.
Check in 9:30 tomorrow. 9:30 on Saturday. You want to gather behind the American Bank, the Tower parking lot there. They've got that pergola. Is it pergola? I always forget how to pronounce that. 115 Front Street. You got the trash pickup for an hour from 9:30 to 10:30. You get the $10 coupon from Great Harvest Bakery and Cafe, $10 Kraft Foods coupon as well. That tree planting ceremony gets underway at 10:45, 120 East Maple, downtown Beaver Dam, Inc. I want to thank you guys so much for joining us today. And will you come back again, Marilyn?
I'm not leaving.
All right, fantastic.
Can I add a quick thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
2 to 6 p.m. is a Rotary event at UGA. So after you're done cleaning up the downtown area and the earth, head over to UGA Brewing, and it's Rotary Club's 100th anniversary party.
Wow.
And is there 30 seconds left?
There's not, but go ahead.
Just want to thank some of the groups that already volunteered. Fleet Farm is sending people to pick up trash. So is Key Club. And who else?
Horicon Bank.
Horicon
Kohl's.
Bank. Kohl's.
And a
Kraft, hopefully.
Kraft.
So we appreciate all those people who are volunteering to come.
And we appreciate you for joining us today.
Our pleasure. Loved it. Thank you.
That's Dr. Marilyn Thompson and Mary Kuntz, Dodge Downtown Beaver Dam, Inc., their Earth Day ceremony and cleanup in Beaver Dam, downtown Beaver Dam, taking place this Saturday. That's going to do it for today's community comment.
If your saving for retirement strategy involves the phrase, "I'll get around to